I'm delighted to say we are joined by the Guiseley manager, Mark Bauer. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Hi, Chris.
How are you? You well?
Yeah, very well, thank you. You?
Yes, all good, all good. What seems like a pretty good, steady away kind of season so far for the Lions. Obviously, no game this weekend due to Ashton being involved in the trophy and Guiseley not. We'll look ahead, of course, to the FA Cup. The fact that you haven't got a game until this weekend, is that a bit of a blessing at the moment in terms of getting players fit, giving them a bit of a rest and getting ready for that all important cup clash at Stevenage?
It's not the worst thing in the world to have happened to us this season. I think we've been really thin on numbers this past few weeks. In the games that we've had, we've only sort of 12, 13 senior players, had academy players on the bench, young lads filling that bench. So yeah, to have a clean week this week, no midweek fixture in the week, no midweek fixture next week. So a 2 week break between the two games is a real blessing for us. We should probably get at least 3 and probably 4 players back that weren't available for Ilkeston. We should have available now for the Stevenage one. So yeah, we're definitely making the most of this little break we've got.
Is there going to be a little bit of rust to shake off? Do you end up actually, perhaps because there's that 2 week gap, that players need a little bit more time to get up to speed for the cup game?
No, I don't think so. No, not with the number of games we've played. I think if you look at where we're at, played 16, 17 games now in a short period of time. So the lads are, fitness levels from a match point of view are good. We've certainly worked some in training in between as well. We've not, it's not been a case of we've just been completely off. Had 2 really good sessions, Tuesday, Thursday following that Ilkeston game, a little breather over the weekend, and then 2 more in the lead up to Stevenage. So yeah, staying on top of them, but just allowing some of those bumps and bruises that players start to carry once you get a couple of months into the season, let them settle down. That's definitely been more of a positive than a negative to us.
Wow, it's good to see you again, mate.
Hello.
How weird does it feel to talk about preparing for the game against Stevenage?
Yeah, not like we've said, for years, and I've been saying it in interviews this season. Not had much luck in the FA Cup. It's been one where, some really bad draws, tough draws away from home after, you might get through a round. Some shocking refereeing decisions, bit of bad luck. It's just never ever gone for me, and even as a player, didn't really get very far in it. So yeah, maybe this year coming together a little bit for us. We had 3 home draws in the first 3 games, albeit a couple of them were really tough ones. And then at Kidderminster, in the first half, in the last round, on another day we could have been a couple down at half time, but relied on our goalkeeper playing well and then missing a couple of chances. But not on the whole. I think we're not conceded a goal so far in the competition. Played 3 teams from above us in the standings, so yeah, we deserve it, and really looking forward to for us to go test ourselves against a League One team.
And let's be honest, Mark, as well, you've not really had the luck of a draw, like you mentioned earlier. You've only just gone and got past Scunthorpe and Kidderminster to get yourself that tie against Stevenage. So even despite on paper the draws being really tough, you guys, like you said, have done the job and got through to this prestigious first round, which has given you opportunity to showcase yourselves, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not the tie that I think anyone, if you were going to pick a tie for when we were at that draw last week, I don't think that'd been anywhere near the top of your list. But no, you got to take what it is. That's cup competitions. Got to take what you're given, and that's what we've been given. And it's a great opportunity for our players to go and test themselves against proper good quality League One players. But in an environment probably as well where there's no pressure on them as well. So we'll enjoy it. We're going down on the Friday night. Make sure that we prepare as well as we possibly can. And they'll guaranteed, you know it, we all know it, there'll be non-league teams, beat League One and League Two teams in the competition in the first round. And we've got to try and be one of those teams. And when it going to penalties on the day, no replays, I guess there's a little bit more jeopardy there for those higher ranked teams, and gives us an opportunity to potentially get through. But yeah, we know it'll be really tough, really tough ask. But the lads are playing with confidence, and like I say, 1 or 2 bodies back as well, quality bodies as well, that will make a big impact on our team. So we'll go there with a little bit of confidence, but knowing how tough it'll be.
You do look at that as a tie that, had it have been at Nethermore, possibly could well have been a TV game. How much, obviously, with this being the first year without cup replays, I mean, what's your general view on it on the whole? And as you say, what do you think that would mean? Because obviously, if you were to hold them to a draw historically, you'd have been able to bring them back to Nethermore and try and do the job there. But instead, how did it change things? The fact that it could actually just go over distance to penalties.
Yeah, but then possibly, yeah. It's difficult, really. I mean, probably gives you more of a chance beating a team 90 odd places ranked higher than you over one game, or giving them a second chance over a second, regardless if it's at your place or theirs. I think you probably got more of a chance of an upset over one game than two. So, yeah, gives us that opportunity. Would it have been on TV? Possibly, possibly not. Stevenage is not the biggest team, are they, in the competition, had it been at our place. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. If we win on penalties, I'll be all for no replays. But yeah, it's one of the. It can go for you, go against you. I think it'll be exciting, won't it? There'll be games on the Saturday afternoon. I think we're one of the featured games on. I don't know if it's a match of the day or whatever is on the BBC that they've got reporters out and showing goals as they go in. I'm sure a game or two will go to penalties on the day, and it'll make interesting TV and be exciting for people watching. So, Lewis, you might be in the bar after an Avenue game, and you might see a penalty shootout in one of the FA Cup games after. So we'll see how it works. It's new. We'll see, but it is what it is. I think we'd have definitely liked a home draw, but yeah, we'll embrace it and do the best we can.
What was it like as well, Mark, being there at the first round draw, at your boyhood club as well, and when, your number gets pulled out and obviously the BBC cameras point in your direction when that comes out? Is it one of those moments where you're thinking, I've got to keep a straight face here, or is it just feel a little bit surreal?
It was a surreal experience. Yeah, I did a couple of Look North interviews, speaking to Radio Leeds on and off in between things going on, and really, makes you in awe of the people at BBC, how they produce it. There's chaos going on 1 minute, and the next second it's live on TV, and everything's all glossy, shiny, looks fantastic. So the work they do that goes on behind the scenes is fantastic. Yeah, that camera pointed to us when the draw came out, and I've got to be honest, myself and Jonathan Greening, the Scarborough manager, we both said slightly different things once the cameras had gone off us about our draws. But no, yeah, we certainly enjoyed it, a different experience, and yeah, you had picture taken with the FA Cup and all that sort of stuff. So it was a really good night, really enjoyed it.
In terms of obviously your experience in the FA Cup, both as a player, as a manager, have you got any standout moments that you've got in your career that you can possibly tell some of our listeners about?
No, not overly. I played at York when York were a League Two level club. Went on loan from Bradford City early in my career, and we went away in a replay. We drew with Reading at home on the Saturday. I think that must have been second round stage. Went away to Reading, who were top of League One and on the ascendancy, when they were on their way up to the Premier League over the preceding couple of years after that. We went there on a Tuesday night and beat them 3-1 in extra time, and yeah, put on a really good show that night. Not too many others. No, I could only really best memories, I guess, are a support watching Bradford City beat the likes of Tottenham in the third round in the late 80s and bits like that. But yeah, not had much luck at all. Got to the first rounds of play with Guiseley. We drew Barrow, who were a conference team at the time, an absolute stinker of a draw then, and we should have beaten them in the first game. Drew 2-2, and then got beat 1-0 in extra time up there as well, which were. Yeah, kind of summed up my FA Cup experience, really. So I've been saying for years, hoped it will just all roll up and go into 1 year. So who knows, maybe this is the one we can get through a round or two more.
And it feels like it's come full circle. Obviously, some people obviously know yourself from Guiseley previously, and obviously with Avenue, now you've got a club that is going on the up. You've got a team that you've put together that looks really strong on paper. Just generally, Matt, how does it feel to be, let's be honest, challenging at the right end of the table, looking for promotion, and back at a club that obviously you've got real good affiliation to, and they've got good affiliation to you too?
Yeah, really nice going back in, and a lot of people behind the scenes are the same as the ones that were there when we were there in that first spell. So that felt quite easy to get back into the swing of it. We know what people expect, and obviously, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realise that with the players that we've been able to bring in, that we should be challenging at the top end of the table. So, yeah, the one difference has been this year, I guess, is we feel like we've put a good team together, but we're missing 6 or 7 proper senior players. But because we're able to have a stronger squad, we've been able to deal with that and still pick up results, still get through in the FA Cup. So that's been a real positive, and something that we'll probably not had as a management team for the past few years. So yeah, just enjoying being back, and like you say, Lewis, challenging at that right end of the table. The players have been fantastic for us. Like I say, you know, probably asked too much from a lot of them over the past few weeks with us having so many injuries, but they've stepped up and keep pulling out results for us. And yeah, it's obviously more enjoyable when you win. And special moment, you're beating Kidderminster the other week in the FA Cup to get to the first round. The celebrations and everything after that, and the feeling around that was fantastic. But you know, for both FA Cup games, we've had horrible Tuesday night games away from home following, and the lads have stepped up and have been just as proud the way they've played and putting performances in those games after that as well. So I think we're well set up for, you know, put ourselves in a decent position in the league. Players coming back that will make a big impact on our team. And you know, once this FA Cup one's out of the way, we can really attack a busy schedule. You know, catching up on a few of the games we've had called off in the lead up to Christmas, and try and get ourselves up as high as we possibly can. It's a difficult league. The likes of Worksop and Macclesfield, those two big spenders, but not just that. They've got teams that have been together for several years, and I think we've played both of them this season, lost narrowly to both of them. Games that I felt that we were more than capable of winning, but probably that togetherness that they've had over the years probably saw them through those tight games. Whereas we're at the start of that journey now, and that'll come over time. And but we've certainly put ourselves in a decent position to start with.
It might be a slightly obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Mark. Obviously, fast forward to May, and it'll be 10 years to the month since you got Guiseley promoted last time. I mean, what chances of that happening again, and just how special would that be for you to be the man to get Guiseley, you know, back out of the NPL, back into National League North, albeit, you know, different way of doing it last time?
That's the job. That's the job. You know, the club wants to move forward again. Had a difficult few years, but restabilised, some new investment there, and you know, things are on the up. The target is to be in that top 5 this season, and obviously if you're in the game, then you've got a chance of getting up. And yeah, that's the aim. We're going to try and win every single game that we go into. If that leads, you know, if our efforts get us into the top 5, top 4, top 3, wherever it might be, then you know, we'll embrace it. Actually, I'd like to miss the playoffs and just win the league, but that's that's going to be a tall order. You look at the way Macclesfield you know, fantastic start to the season they've had. That's going to be difficult, but no, a long way off. We've got to make sure we concentrate on the short term and just continuing to get good results, win as many games as we can, and yeah, ultimately at the end of the season we'll see that where that takes us. And yeah, if it means that it gets us to a playoff final, then yeah, we'll take that, and hopefully we can repeat history.
I want to say that'd be nice. I think as well, Matt, just before I move on to the final question, obviously it's never easy to be kind of out of football, and obviously what happened previously at Avenue, but do you feel a little bit more refreshed, a little bit going into this job? Have you learned a little bit from the previous few years of, let's be honest, the club struggling at the wrong end of the table for various reasons, but then you've been able to put this squad together that from the outside and inside there's quite high expectations. Is that felt a little bit different? And have you, let's be honest, felt better about it?
Yeah, listen, I had a great time at Avenue. Really enjoyed it. That first spell when we went in, you know, we were able to put a squad together. Probably got a little bit of luck in keeping a majority fit for a majority of the time, and we were able to challenge top end of the year and top end of the table and get in the playoffs for a couple of years in a row. After COVID, I think it's well documented. It's been difficult, and there's not been the money there to you know, to challenge like we'd done before. But we felt we'd done a good job. You know, we kept the club in the National League North for a decent period of time, and just run out of a little bit of luck maybe in that third season where we took it to the last day despite all the injuries we had in that second half of the season. But through that, you learned, you tested differently. You learn make the most of everything you possibly can to get the most out of your players, to get the best results you possibly can. So thoroughly enjoyed my time at Avenue. It did become, in that, towards the end, really, really difficult and a little bit soul destroying at times when you see other clubs able to push on and kick on. But that's part management. You can't have the best of it all the time. You've got to adapt, and certainly it's made me a better manager. And I think, now taking this role at Guiseley, different expectations, but we'll, as a management team, we do the same thing. We try and get the best possible players we can from the resources that we've got, and then when we've got them in the building, we try and put the best team we possibly can on the pitch to go and get results on a Saturday. It's probably allowed us to be a little bit more adventurous in how we play. I think we've got goalkeeper, the defenders that we've got allow us to be able to push more bodies up the pitch and score goals. So yeah, it's been a different challenge, and obviously one that you probably enjoy more. With Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock, you want to be winning games, don't you? Want to go in the bar after a game having won, and I get the drinks in after we've won games, and Martin, Bosch, Danny King are doing all right out of me so far this season. So long may that continue.
Amazing. So then, Mouse, what's the plan for this week? Obviously, without giving any of your starting lineup and tactics away, what does this week look like for Guiseley and yourself and the team?
Yeah, just slightly different. Like I said, we're going down on Friday afternoon. We're going to stay over Friday, so we'll get the lads together and prepare the best we possibly can. But training will just be the same. We'll train Tuesday, train Thursday. Being able to get good footage on Stevenage, and we'll have a decent idea of what they're about. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Will they rest a few, thinking that they're playing a team 90 odd places below them? So there might be a few. We'll have to be well prepared in terms of players that might come in. So we'll do that the best we can. But ultimately, we know if we approach the game in a way that we've done for the over the course of the season, then we give ourselves an outside chance of getting a result, because we've got match winners in our team. We feel we're fit. We feel that we're fitter than pretty much every team that we've played at our level so far. We scored goals. We scored a late goal against Kidderminster and looked the strongest team fitness-wise in that one late on in the game. So we feel fitness-wise we won't be far away from where we need to be. Obviously, a little bit of luck will certainly help, but yeah, lads will be well prepared. We'll know what we're up against, and we'll know what we want to do. But ultimately, we want to make sure we go down and enjoy it, and you enjoy it, don't you, by giving it a good go and having a chance of winning.
We can't ask you about the cup exploits without touching on the youth team as well, actually, who obviously do really well season after season under Dave Curry and the coaching staff there. But again, another good FA Youth Cup run for them this season too, going to Harrogate, I think, next week.
Absolutely. The main thing, I think, the difference in my time, having come back from what it was like before, there's just an expectation amongst the group of players, amongst the staff, that we can compete, we can beat these. That's a good draw for us. We'll beat Macclesfield, no problem. Macclesfield established ex-Football League club, big catchment area, big crowd. You'd expect them, but no, Guiseley now are at the level where we're better than that. We'll beat them, and they went and proved it. Some performances have been really good from the players. We've had some of the younger boys involved with us over the past few weeks and coming off the bench. And we played a predominantly academy team in the West Riding County Cup this week, and probably should have beaten Armthorpe, to be fair. I thought we were a better side, and the young lads just stood up to it really well, played like men, and that experience will have done them good. But fantastic for the club. Since I left 8 years ago, there's been a few of the young boys sold on, haven't they, and gone on to play at a very, very high level. And Dave and all his staff just continue to do an absolutely fantastic job, and long may that continue, because that helps the football club long term, doesn't it? And he's a great guy. Dave does really well with them, and hope he does it for a long time to come.
Absolutely, Mark. We wish you, of course, all the best of luck this coming week and for the game at Stevenage of the weekend. Thanks ever so much for coming and talking to us on the West Yorkshire Football Show.
Yeah, good luck, Bowes.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks, Lewis.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.